Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's VC Task Force Gary's Picks event for investors and startups. My name is Joel Rosenberg, Director of Business Development and Strategy for VC Task Force. VC Task Force is an organization where the venture community comes together to address critical issues, provide workshops, and other events for the benefit of the venture and entrepreneurial communities. VC Task Force provides access to an extensive ecosystem of VCs, CVCs, and angel investors. You may ask questions anytime during the event, and time permitting, they will be answered live after today's interview. It is my pleasure to welcome Gary's Picks host, Gary Fowler. Gary is CEO and co-founder of GSD Venture Studios, an award-winning growth stage AI venture studio. Gary is also co-founder of the award-winning AI startup Yva.ai, as well as the investment firm DY Investments. Today, Gary will be interviewing special guest Priyanka Sehgal, founder of Sparkles Dating. Priyanka is a media professional with 20 years of extensive experience across TV and digital, with successful stints in India's leading media conglomerates, including Network 18, Times Television Network, and NDTV. With rich experience in strategy, product growth, monetization, content, programming, and partnerships, Priyanka has shifted gears and entered the startup world with the launch of Sparkles Dating. COVID has kept singles locked inside without human connection for the last 18 months. Today, singles are swiping left and right and still fail to make genuine in-person connections. Sparkles Dating uses the power of AI to match the right people with hyper-personalized experiences to form a genuine connection. Take it away, Gary.
Great, thanks, Joel. I appreciate it. Great to be here. As Joel said, my name's Gary Fowler, and I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor. I've done 17 startups and been involved in 2 unicorns. I was on the original management team of Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also Yva.ai. Love artificial intelligence, quantum computing, cybersecurity, mobility, because our world is changing and we need to be able to adapt and deal with the data around us. So it is my pleasure today to introduce Priyanka Sehgal. Priyanka is the CEO of Sparkles Dating, and she's also a leader, a Women's Leadership Achievement Award winner, top 100 smartest digital marketing leaders, influential digital marketing. I mean, she's got so many awards, it's unbelievable, actually. So it's great, Priyanka. So I got a question for you, Priyanka. How do you come from Jawaharlal Nehru University? Where is that anyhow? And how did you make, what was your journey like, you know, going through and being involved in media and TV, et cetera? So where are you from originally and what was the journey like?
I think so. TV, thank you for having me, Gary. TV is basically, you know, a medium where you can communicate, you can give people what they want, of course, and the right information, and then empower them to be able to decide for themselves what they want to believe. And so I think TV is given that kind of experience where you create different products every day, shipping different products, meeting tight deadlines. And in the news business, especially, it's always about breaking news and how do you break that information in a correct manner. So yes, I think, you know, product, content, strategy, monetization, all of that comes naturally, helping brands grow, tap into new markets. And then how we utilize that towards entrepreneurship is key, right? It's all of that that we carry over the years to something that we want to build and something that we want to leave behind, like a legacy of sorts.
So how did you go from, okay, so you graduated with your bachelor's and master's degree in 99. How did you go to become a senior producer of NDTV?
So I worked with NDTV for more than 10 years and in the news business, and I set up multiple television channels, and there was programming across news, business, lifestyle, sports. And it just comes naturally after a while that news becomes a part of your DNA, and everything is literally news, right? So yeah, years of hard work, experience directing and producing news, and some of the top rated television shows for years. At that point in time, it was never a goal to get to a certain place. It was more about delivering the right thing and doing the right thing for our audiences. So yeah, it took years of hard work where there was literally no personal life. I was working through holidays and vacations. So yeah, I think it just happened. It was a natural progression.
So you went there to becoming a channel producer, correct? So you were working at Times Now. So we're doing branded content, news and features. So you were doing this. It sounds like you were really busy, and then you were vice president of Mumbai at Network 18. So what made you decide? So all of a sudden, did you one day say, I want to do Sparkles dating? Did you wake up in the morning and say, I've been so busy during my career because I haven't had time I've been busy during the holidays. I've been busy during the weekends. I got to do Sparkles dating. Is that how it came up, or what happened?
No, so I moved cities from Delhi to Mumbai while I was setting up ET Now, the business television channel of the Times Group. And that's the time when I actually also got divorced. So, there was this observation across age groups of people where everyone was still single, and they still are after decades, right? So it was always about wanting to know.
So Priyanka, you're saying people were still single?
Yeah, yes. The people I met back in 2008 are still single, right? They're still looking.
But how does it work? I know in India, don't you have a lot of dating arranged by families and marriages? Is that still predominant or not? Is that because I know a number of my friends have done that?
Yes. So India has a lot of offline and online dating groups. There were a lot of single groups of which I was a part of, and there were online dating apps. So with the advent of Tinder, Bumble, dating came into India. In India, marriages are more important for our culture. So dating as a means to get to marriage does not really exist as it does in the Western world. It's now.
Oh, really? So you date and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you marry somebody that somebody wants you to marry?
Well, I think, different parts of India respond differently to trends like these. And I think the strategy for launching a dating app in India has to be different. Homegrown dating apps in India have taken really long to get there. But Tinder, Bumble, Hinge were typically something that users adapted to really fast. So what I noticed was that people wanted love, but they didn't know how to work towards it, and they didn't know how to get to it. And so I kept wondering, what is it that is stopping them from finding what they want to find? Is it because there's cognitive overload, or is it because they just don't know how to do it, or what? So that led to a lot of observation of human behavior in the world of online and offline dating. And then I was studying at Columbia Business School, so I made a lot of trips here, and that's the time when I decided that I should take this research forward. So I went on over 250 dates with people of different nationalities, and sometimes I had to change my orientation.
How many dates?
250.
And how did you pick the person to go out with? What was the deal? Was there any theme, or was it like, I'm just going out with everybody? That's a lot of people. I got to tell you, I mean, you're talking about dating every day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Was it 1 year, or how long was it?
Multiple dates a day, sometimes 2, 3. And
then what, when you were doing this, Priyanka, what was the one thing you found? What was the most unusual date that you can talk about that you've ever had?
Oh, I've had the most unusual of all days. Each date has been so different, and the time when I had to change my orientation was a little tough because I was pretending, right? So that was something.
You had to change your orientation?
Yeah, because I wanted to understand, is it only.
You don't mean like north and south and east and west. You mean something else, right?
Yeah, so it was sometimes to pretend to be what I wasn't. And that was a little tough because that doesn't come easy to me, right? So that was interesting, and a lot of other dates, because I went on dates in different parts of the US as well as in Mexico City, and then in Europe as well, and Asia. So every person is different, every date is different. But yes, what I noticed
Now,
is
did you
that
ever find somebody out of 250 and say, that's the one? Like the movies? Was there ever, well, there got to be one person out of 250. That's a lot of people that you said, he's the one or she's the one or whatever the deal. Did you like look at them and say, that's the guy, that's the person from New York or wherever that I'm interested in? Did that happen or not?
no. And even if it did, it was more about, I was so focused on research that I had to get onto all the dating apps possible and swipe right on people, wait till men asked me out on a date, and then I went and met them. So it was not just one,
So it
two,
works.
three
So
times.
you would have the guys ask you,
Yeah.
and that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So sometimes it was, I was waiting for them to ask, and sometimes I would steer the conversation that I would get asked. So yeah, it was very interesting because I was meeting people back to back, taking notes. And the one thing that I
And then,
noticed was,
Priyanka, did you like have a book out and like, just a second, let me say, oh, wow, he started to talk about his family and his cats and dogs. And was it that kind of thing? Did you like really take notes or what?
oh, I did, but I couldn't take notes in front of people because they would get offended. Even till date, I get saying, am I the subject of your research? Because if I tell them, yeah, I launched a dating app, they're like, are you researching? Are you really dating us or are you researching? So yeah, so what the whole deal was that what I noticed was that when people undergo similar life situations, they connect better, they open up, they talk about the problems they face, and there is a certain sense of
Like, what do you
vulnerability.
mean? Tell me, give us an example.
So for instance, if so I was divorced, right? So I'm a single mom, and there was someone else who was a single dad. Then they would connect with me and say the problems that they underwent in their past, and how they're trying to cope with the new dating life where they don't know how to go about dating. And because they got married so early, they never dated, so they don't know how to do this. They're still new. People take them for a ride. A lot of them got catfish. So and
What's
then
the catfishing, by the way? I hear this a lot. I have no idea. I hear for me, catfishing is when I used to go fishing at the pond by my house in Pennsylvania. What is a catfishing? What does that mean?
So when people pretend to be what they're not, and then, there are various ways. There could be solicitation, there could be somebody pretending to be of a different gender, or, there's an underlying inherent agenda apart from
Did
dating.
you have that ever happen to you?
No, but I heard of stories of people it happened to, and somehow it was quite heartbreaking to realize that people were putting themselves out there to find love, and all they got was a whole lot of heartbreak and brokenness, and that kind of led them to move on to other dating apps, or just completely stay off the dating world, and some people choose to remain single till date. So a lot of observations. There were fun stories. I could probably write a book at some point in time. Very interesting. I almost got shot at some
What?
point testing the
What?
app.
What happened?
Yeah, at that point in time, it was very stressful. I was testing the app, and in a zone which was of, a lot of singles out there, but a lot of drug dealing and all of that was going on, and I didn't
And
realize.
was that in the US or Mexico? Or where was that?
Yeah, that was Mexico City.
And so
So
you were down there dating? Went down and said, I'm going to try it here and see how it works?
yeah, so one part was that Sparkles was getting really accepted in the testing phase, before we did a pivot and launch, and that was the time when we were testing that this incident happened, and then it crossed my mind that people get increasingly offended, and you might have a different agenda, you might not even want to do that, but to them it's offensive if you're testing something, or you're going into a gay zone where you're testing an app which they may feel is not inclusive. They've had a problem with all of that with previous dating apps.
Interesting. So what happens? I got a question, Priyanka. What happens, like you go on a date, who pays for you're doing your research, who pays for um, who pays for the dinner? Is it like, do you split it or I'm just curious, how does it work?
So in different cultures, it works differently. In India, men would not let you pay. So not Northern India, men would not let you pay. Mumbai, people would be, okay, let's split. In the US, it depends on where you're going and how well you know the person, or if that's a third date or second date. Usually men don't let you pay and they're like, okay, we'll get this. Or sometimes it's a split, we go Dutch. Yeah, but it depends from individual to individual as well. We just have to be open to it. So yeah, there were times when I paid, I wouldn't let the other person pay because, you also have to keep them believing that dating doesn't mean that they're out there just wasting their money and time on people that might end up breaking their heart.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you're doing your research there and they catch it. So what is the most exciting date you've ever been on? So you did 250. Like, does somebody just like, this was so much fun? What was it? Did you go like somebody say, let's go on a helicopter and fly around, or on a yacht somewhere? Did you have any of that stuff?
Yeah, all that happened. That happened in New York. We did the whole city ride on the chopper. And yeah, so different experiences. What I noticed was that when I went to a bar or a coffee shop, the most authentic version of a person wouldn't present itself. And when you have different experiences, that's when you get to know the person at the most natural best. So for instance, I may not have met what we call heart men at some dates, but they were so intelligent, their personalities were so different that you see them responding to certain experiences, certain situations, and you go, yeah, okay, this part of this person is something that I would really want in my life, as opposed to just say physical appearances. So prioritizing.
But that doesn't hurt, does it, Priyanka? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that happens with men too, right? That the first thing is, okay, does this person look appealing to me? And then I can take this forward. And then slowly the unraveling happens. Okay, this person looks good, but they're not what I would want in a partner, or not somebody I could date long term. Maybe they're not sensible enough. Maybe they'll cheat on me, or maybe they're not people I would want to be with. So different revelations across experiences.
So tell us a little bit about Sparkles. Oh, we have a question. How could I find a good dating site? Please. So tell them a little bit about it from your standpoint, and maybe you could talk a little bit about Sparkles, right? So this is from Peter.
So Sparkles is basically experience dating powered by AI. What we try and do is use hyper-personalized matchmaking tools and assist users in identifying what they want, who they want it with, the kind of experiences they want. And then they set the expectations right via the swipes. And then we encourage them to go on certain experiences, common experiences that the app intelligently throws up. They
Like
go
what
on
kind of stuff? Give it, Priyanka, give the audience some examples. What are you talking about? Let's go fishing. I know you like to fish. Let's go bowling. I'm into bungee jumping. Come on, let's do that. I mean, what kind of experiences?
So each mood on Sparkles, we call it moods because that's just a fun way of saying that, okay, identify what you want. So each mood has different experiences, just like, say, if I want something casual, my benchmark of a partner and the kind of experiences I want to have with that partner are going to be different, as opposed to somebody who I would want to have a long-term relationship with. So for instance, for a long-term relationship, we say, don't just go to a bar, go for experiences like, say, travel with someone, cook with someone, go for some dance lessons if you like it, or music, or wine tasting, or maybe just go for a run. One can go for a run to Central Park and then go for brunch. It tells you so much more about the person's, emotional quotient, their health, situations that otherwise wouldn't present themselves, when you dated someone across a period of time. So if you have these experiences, then they help you get to decision making faster because you can discover more about your match. So the whole premise is have different kind of experiences depending on what you're looking for, and the partner preferences for each mood is going to be different, obviously.
Interesting. And so you've gone on these 250 dates. So tell us a little bit. So what's going on with Sparkles today, and what are your goals?
I think what we're trying to do is get people to know how to date with intention, help them find what they want, and then get them to a decision-making process faster. We're not here to get people married, but we're here to help them find meaningful relationships, and then they can decide what they want. The future of Sparkles would be obviously a community build out, which we're anyways building right now. People to get to different experiences, decide faster, live their truth is most important, because most people do not even, they're not upfront and honest about what they're looking for on most dating apps. And I keep talking to users every single day, and this is still a problem. So on the app, when they come on the app, when they don't know that that's going to be visible on their profile or not, chances are they're going to mostly be honest about what they want, knowing that they're not being judged, knowing that it is not visible. Of course, we want to make a difference there. The idea is to build out a complete dating economy, build people, build communities, help them build each other up via experiences, have different kinds of experiences. So you're doing something fun with people you may or may not like, but you will still have happy memories. So a complete dating
You're
economy
doing
build
stuff
out.
with people you may or may not like, but you're having happy memories.
Yes, absolutely.
Wouldn't you want to do things with somebody you like so you can have even better memories?
Yes. So what happens is, typically if you go on an experience that you like doing, and the other person also likes doing, there's a shared component already. There's a shared interest. So that is one. The second thing is that if there are problems across the way, how do the two people respond to those? So for instance, maybe I go on a bike ride with someone, and something happened and the bike tilted. And the first thing was that he turned around and he said, "Are you okay?" And I think that stays, right? The person's response, the person's reaction to certain situations. And those are small things that go a long way in building strong bonds. And so, of course, the idea is to do something fun, and knowing what you want. And then obviously when the two people have swiped right, not just right, but we've given them the options of 4, 5 swipes. So when they set the expectations right, they're starting off on a good note. They're having the right experiences. They know what they want from each other. And then, this is a step in the right direction to then arrive at common interests and say, okay, this person is going to be like this. This is their response. These are their likes and dislikes. Can I live with this or not? And then if I can live with this, what are the next steps I can take? So Sparkles would help users move forward. We offer a predictive score when people go on a date and they come back. So that predictive score tells them which way their relationship is likely to move.
But you're predicting how good of a date they're going to have.
Yeah.
And so now you use this yourself.
Yes.
And now have you used it to find dates?
Yes, I have.
And then, so you must have the inside scoop and everything.
Yeah. So for me, it's more about, while I'm undergoing this personal experience, but I would also want this to impact the community at large, and really truly help them find something meaningful. And I always say, even a casual relationship can be meaningful. Meaningful can be short term, it can be long term. It just has to be with somebody you would like to be with.
You have those? By the way, since you're the guru on this stuff, have you had meaningful relationships that said, this is really fun? We went to an art museum. I don't really like the guy, but and by the way, it doesn't have to be a guy. It could be like just finding friends, right? Can you use it for that too?
Yes.
Just find people that just want to hang out?
Yes. So while there are different moods on the app, there is also a place where people can just come and meet up for an activity. They may be committed prior to getting onto Sparkles, but their partners may not have a shared interest. So we've created a situation where people can come here and just meet up with each other without any particular agenda, and no particular intention, no focused intention. They can come meet each other and then decide what they want to do. May or may not turn into a relationship, but it can turn into a beautiful friendship as well. The idea is to do it over shared experiences. So, and yes, I think I've had some great experiences, and I feel that when we do this, then a lot of things get out of the way, right? There's not endless swiping. There's not endless chatting. There's not endless.
Because that's the other thing. When does it stop, Priyanka? When do you stop dating? You've had 250 dates, right?
Yeah.
How do my friends that are doing Bumble and Tinder and all these different dating sources say they can't stop dating because it's like nobody's really serious. They're just swiping right all the time. And they're like going on endless dates. How does it stop? Is it like you're on the dating roller coaster and you never can get off?
Yeah, I think, what has happened is that over a period of time and in a very short span of time, there has been a lot of gamification of dating. So we're continuously swiping right, chatting, dating or not, but nothing comes out of it. And then the thing is that if I'm an impatient human being and I go on a say a coffee date, a 20-minute coffee date with someone, and something goes wrong, even the tiniest bit of say behavior or a comment, I will not be giving more time to that person because I know I've got someone else down the corner, and I always have
So
options.
why would you ever get married if that's the case, right? If you already got somebody around the corner all the time.
Yeah. So that's what modern dating has
Seriously, I mean,
become.
because my buddy's a model in California, and he's telling me that. So Kevin, if you're listening, he was saying, you just so many dates, you don't have a chance because you're meeting so many people, or who's the right person. You can't really develop a deep relationship.
Yeah, I think so. This is a problem all of us have faced, me too. And we continue to do this, all of us. And then there's always confusion, whether this person is right or that person is right. And inevitably we make the wrong choice. And then we get our hearts broken along the way. So the idea is that with focused intention, this is what I want. Can I have these experiences with this one person? And then the idea is if I'm getting bored, that's on me to innovate with that one person instead of running back to the others out there waiting for me, because they also have more options. So, it's tough to find that one person who's at that phase in life where they want the same things as you.
Well, I mean, it's a continuum too. I mean, I don't know about you, but there's millions of people you could marry. There's no question about it. It's like, but there are also millions of people you can marry, and each one of them's a little bit different, and nobody's going to have everything that you want, right? There's like degrees of what you want, and your taste may change from 1 week to the next or 1 year to the next. So
Yeah,
it's
there's
interesting.
always,
So
there's
tell us a little
always.
bit, we're coming to the top of the hour. Um, Tell us a little bit about, is there any more about Sparkles you want to talk about? And then closing thoughts and how can people reach you?
So Sparkles is basically all about getting to meet the right person via the right experiences, or deciding what you want and then telling us the kind of partner you want and the kind of experiences you want to go for, making a date plan. Those experiences are available on Sparkles at discounted prices. And then when they come back, we give them a predictive score. There's a community build out where users can actually advise each other for dating advice. We've got, Facebook groups. We're also there on Twitter and Instagram. There's also a way to reach me from the app itself. The email IDs are there. It's founders at Sparkles Dating. I'm on Twitter. I'm very active. People write in all the time. I even get.
You just got one now. It says, Peter just wrote, thank you for the answer. I think I really need I need your help to find a lifetime partner.
I'd be happy to help you.
Yeah. Well, give them what's the best way to contact you?
So I'm on Twitter and Priyanka Sehgal 7, and I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on, my email ID is priyanka@sparklesdating.com. So I'm out there on social.
Can they get the app? Can they try Sparkles now?
Yes, it's on the App Store, Sparkles Dating. It's got a red heart with white sparkles.
So try Sparkles Dating on the App Store. And for viewers out there, check it out. It's a very cool app.
Yeah, I'm just going to show it to you. Yeah, so it's just, this is what the icon is. It's a red heart on the iOS. That's the one, Sparkles Dating.
Yeah, look at the heart. You go to the heart, you'll find Priyanka. All right, Priyanka, thanks so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank the entire VC Task Force team for making Gary's Picks possible. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. And stay tuned for the next edition. I'll be back in another 2 weeks with another exciting guest, another exciting startup, and a lot more information. Thank you. Joel?
Yeah, so thank you both. Gary, there was one other question that came in. I don't know if you saw it from Liat Perlman. What sort of partnerships do you anticipate for Sparkle? This is actually for Priyanka. Assuming you are seeking to increase revenue and users through these partnerships.
Yes, that's right. So a great question. We would look at all kinds of partnerships for anyone who's providing any experience. Also in the space of fintech, you'd be surprised, but there is so much one can do. There are different partnerships we would look at, from experiences to having a wallet inside there, to say health, women's wellness, men's wellness. I don't think there's a dearth of experiences or partnerships that we would be limiting ourselves to. We would look at anybody who's also building an audio platform. I know there are a lot of Clubhouse imitations coming up, but that's also great. We wouldn't mind doing an audio speed dating on that and collaborating. We would look at, a lot of people have reached out to me from the women wellness space, and we are collaborating. We're also collaborating with people who are looking to reduce college debt for students. So all kinds of platforms, yes.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Priyanka. I think that's all the questions we had today. And it was really, really, this is so timely, especially, in the age that we live in, having this type of opportunity and app to connect. Really amazing. So wonderful interview. Gary, look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks for the next Gary's Picks event. Until then, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you then.
And stay happy. Talk to you later. Thanks, everybody.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.